G'day, YouTube. Just a quick video to demonstrate how you can use something like a Joyo PXL Live, look at my manky toes, to, change channels on the Marshall JVM 410H, or I suppose any of the other ones as well, the JVMs. It's actually very, very simple. And along with switching channels, you can also, pick if you want reverb on and off, effects loop on and off, your second master volume on and off, or, yeah. And the cool thing with that is you can just use this one foot switch, looper switcher thing, to do the channel switching with whatever settings you want turned on or off. Plus, if you're connecting multiple pedals in front and behind the amp, you can also set them up with the looper pedal to go on and off as you please, as you're changing channels and making changes on the amp. Alright, so I've just got it on bank 2A at the moment. So what you do is this. Let's say you want to set clean, crunch, high gain, and maybe solo. We go to the first one, A, we want clean on that one. My clean button's broken on this amp, but the other ones work. So I'm going to push the foot switch, the JVM foot switch for that, but let's pretend I push this button. You want to configure it the way you want it first, so you'd push this button. We're on the clean channel. And if the button worked, I can pick 3 different modes of clean. But I'll just leave it on that one. And you can see the LED light doesn't work on this button either, but the other ones work, you'll see. So just pick the settings that you want. So it's clean channel. You might want the effects loop on and the reverb on. If you wanted to set the second master control, you can put that on, but I don't need that. Right. So to start programming, we push the foot switch button. First make sure that you've got your MIDI cable plugged into the Joyo, whatever they call it these days, DIN cable, connected to the Joyo in the MIDI output and into the MIDI in at the back of the amp. I'm not talking about the guitar cable jack, I'm talking about the DIN cable. Go to your amp and push the foot switch button twice. That goes into MIDI programming mode. Alright, so we want to set that clean channel with the reverb and the effects loop on to the Joyo, in my case, bank 2A. Just going to breeze through this without trying to explain what everything is. This is all you need to do. Follow my lead. Hold the mute button for a couple of seconds. Bank plus to go to NA. Push B until it goes E1. Push D. Okay, you want to set it on program change, so push the mute button once. It'll say E1. Push the B button to go to A1. Push the D button. And you always want this to be set on 0, 1. So push the C button to go to 0, 1. Push the mute button once. Push, okay, it says A1. Push the B button, I mean. It'll now show C1. Push the D button. Now, what seems to work for me is, set 1 for that configuration. Then when you're doing this one, you set 2, and for that one 3, and then that one 4. Okay. Then just hold down the mute button to save, and to send the MIDI, you need to push that A button twice into bypass. See how it's still flickering? Hasn't received it yet. So you go 1, 2, and it's received. Now, if you want to set, let's say, a crunch channel, go to the second one, B. Okay, now dial in your crunch tone. You might want to go OD1. Reverb off. You might want effects loop on still. Whatever you want. If you want it yellow, orange, or red mode. And that's supposed to be green. It looks yellow to me. I think it's supposed to be green. So let's put it on orange mode. Bit more high gain. You dial it in the way you want. Now we want to save that crunch channel to the B bank. 2B. Push the foot switch button twice. And now we do the same thing. Hold mute. It's getting a bit noisy. Bank plus to go to NA. Push B. Push D. Push mute. Push B. Push D. Remember, this one has to be on 01 to communicate. MIDI on channel 01. Always channel 01 for this setting. Push mute to A1, push B, push D, and this one I'm going to save it as preset 2. If you choose 1 again, it will just override the first preset you just created, and they'll both be the same. They'll both be crunch. So 02, hold mute down to save. Push B twice, and that's now saved in the amp. Now you might want to go to 3 and put in OD2 tone. We'll go red. I don't know, you might want effects loop off. You might want, reverb on. You might want to set the master volume to be a bit louder. So that will now be set to the first master volume. You might want to have that a little bit louder for solos or whatever. So now it's going to save that preset with OD2 orange. Red, sorry. Looks orange to me. That's supposed to be green, orange, red. Oops, lost my settings now. Oh, that's alright. Yeah, I wanted reverb on, master on, yep. I'll just leave the effects loop off just to show that it does turn off when I go back into that preset. Alright, so that's good. Push the foot switch button twice, it's blinking, it's ready to receive. Hold mute. NA. B, D, mute, B, D, always go to channel 1 on that one, mute, B, D, save that one as 3, hold mute, and push that C button twice, it stops blinking. Now let's test it. So pushing A. It's clean, it's got reverb, as we've set it, with the effects loop on. Go to B. It's on crunch, with the effects loop on, and reverb. Go to C, it's on the red channel, OD2, effects loop off, reverb on, and the master is on. Ah, I left reverb on all 3 of these. Whoops, okay, maybe I don't want it on the second one. Let's change it. Okay, clean. Crunch. The reverb's off now. Effects loop on. Yep. And then the C button. Got reverb on, the master on, and we're on OD2. It's as simple as that. So that's the cool thing. You can configure this to, you know, manipulate your JVM amp settings and whatever pedals you got connected to this thing at the same time. So you just hit the stomp once, and whatever pedals you want on or off will also be activated or deactivated. Well, that's as simple as it gets. I haven't found another video that shows how to do this in English. So there you go. Kudos.